looks like fucking shit, man. The fucking D.I.Y sander just ain't cutting the cake. An 80 grit D.I.Y sander just isn't fucking doing the job. Son of a bitch. You get to the fucking point, you're restoring your old car, you're trying to make it right, you don't want to strip it to bare metal, and you take the D.I.Y sander, you get your 80 grit out, you start sanding it, and it just ain't coming off. All it's doing is peeling off, and really fucking sucks. And then what happens is they got layers of paint here, so you can't have layers of paint like that, because when you look at it and you feel it, feels like dents and bumps. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to fix it?
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Do you see the layers right here? Do you see the layers that the D.I.Y sander makes when you try to sand it down? And then when you're sanding it down, you can see it's really not even scuffing the paint. It's really not feathering anything out. All it's doing is peeling it off. It's just peeling the paint off because the paint is so old. This is probably single stage acrylic enamel or something. And then, of course, it's got this factory black etch primer on it, and then of course it's got the factory red primer on it, and then it's got the paint. And what we're doing, we're working on this old car right here, and we got to replace this door. So we got to paint the door, and it's just not working out using a D.I.Y. I mean, I'm rubbing my hand right here and it feels like that's a dent because of the layers of the paint. It's just like peeling off with the D.I.Y sander instead of coming off. Even if I use 36 grit D.I.Y paper on the D.I.Y, it's not doing anything. It's just wasting my time and air compressor and electricity and everything else. But there is one tool that does do the job, and it looks like a D.I.Y sander, but it's not a D.I.Y sander. What it is, I call it the Bondo Buster. It's a high torque air tool. It's a high torque orbital air tool that has very high torquey gears in it. It's not a dual D.I.Y sander because what the situation is, what the difference is, and I'm going to show you why a D.I.Y sander doesn't work on this, is if you look at your D.I.Y sander right here versus the Bondo Buster high-speed grinder round sander, all right, if you look at the difference of those, the difference you have, look at there, look at that spinning, and then look at this, this one ain't doing nothing. Okay, what the dual action sander is, I'm sorry, the D.I.Y sander, D.I.Y stands for dual action. If you look at it, it spins right here, but then if you notice there's a counterweight in there that spins as well, and it's offset. Okay, if you take this sander right here, our high-tech, high-torque grinding sander, and a lot of companies make these. This is very popular, and this is also, this is an 11-inch pad versus your 5-inch pad. All right, so this is made for cutting down, taking off, and doing the job properly. But if you look right here, okay, that's just a high-torque grinder sander air style. And of course up here it has your, your variance in your airspeed for low torque, high torque, go fast, go slow situation. And it's also variable speed by the trigger as well. And the same with this one. This has your air differentiation right here on the side, and then that there. But the problem we have, even if I use the 36 grit on the D.I.Y sander, all it's doing is spinning this way and spinning that way at the same time, and it's not doing anything. So to demonstrate the difference of our Bondo buster, we'll call it, versus the D.I.Y, you saw what the D.I.Y was doing. It's just basically wasting material and wasting time. We're going to take our high-speed grinder Bondo buster, and then we're going to go over it with that, and I want you to see what the difference is. Do you see the difference in using the high-speed grinder? Now you're asking my friend Pete, you're saying to yourself, why not just get a grinder? Why don't we just get the grinder out? And let me get that, I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, because we can always get the electric grinder out right there. We can always do that, but the problem you have with the electric high-speed grinder is that this creates heat on the metal. Because this is such high torque, high grind, and you're using a lot of force, do you understand? So you're forcing down, and what you're going to do is you're going to warp your metal with this. Using this sander here eliminates those problems. It's a high torque grinding sander that works at approximately 80 psi or above on your air compressor, and it eliminates all the paint and strips it down very nicely. Then we'll go ahead and blow it off. And now, if you look at our door, you can see all the old, nasty, rotted out 30-year, 40-year-old paint has been removed within seconds. I want to tell you once again, I used an old pad. This was a pad that's been on here for a while from doing body work. And it took the paint right off versus our D.I.Y that was just basically spinning around, staying in the same spot, and basically scratching the surface. So there you go. That's the tool to use for that. And another thing, it doesn't warp your metal. And now we're ready to D.I.Y it down because we don't want to strip this to bare metal. This wasn't a job that we were going to strip to bare metal, but it looks like it's pretty damn close. Another good thing is that I found a couple more dents in the door from using that big sander, because when you use that big surface sander like that, it's going to take a bigger, flatter spot, and then it'll show you where your dents are. You can see where I already started doing the body work on this, and I found a dent over here as well, and there's a couple over here on this side. But yeah, when you want to restore your old junky car and restore it and give it a fresh paint job, you want to get rid of that paint quick, and it's dry and flaky anyway, this is the tool to use. You saw what I did with it. You saw how quick the paint came off. I didn't use a grinder, and it's a done deal. So this is also a good tool for many other uses, such as breaking down your Bondo. That's basically what it's for. But today we used it to strip the old paint off, and it did a hell of a good job. It didn't leave any deep gouging scratches like a grinder would, our 7-inch grinder. And it also helped us in the process of speeding everything up and doing it right. So if you're trying to find the right tools for the right job, that's the thing that you want to do. You want to make sure that you got the tool to do the job, to do it right. Do Doing a job right consists of basically two things: your brain and your tools. And then, of course, taking your brain to tell your hands how to work the tool. This is Pete, my friend Pete, showing you the tools of success. We'll see you later. Take it easy. My friend Pete, your friend Pete, last chance Pete, right here. All right, I just saved myself probably an hour and a half of time grinding and sanding and bullshitting around with my high-speed, high-torque Bondo Buster sander. It's a hell of a fucking deal. Now we gotta grind that out. Get them dents going. Where's my fucking grinder? Where's my fucking grinder walk off to? When did it grow legs last night and walk away and fucking hide? Now my grinder's fucking gone. Son of a bitch, you better be in your fucking... Here it is.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.